Samurai Shodown.
Hey guys, what's up? This is SonicSol here with another character guide video for you guys, talking about the new Samurai Shodown game coming this June. I already covered Charlotte in my last video, and if you haven't checked that out, please do so, along with some of the basic mechanics of the game itself in my how to play video for the new Samurai Shodown. This character guide video is actually going to be on Kibagami Genjuro, covering some of his moves, his special moves, and his weapon flipping technique and super special moves. So I decided to do Kibagami Genjuro this time around for a character guide video, seeing as how I had made a straw poll on my stream on twitch.tv/sonic_sol, and he came up as the most requested. So we're covering him now. So without further ado, let's just dive right into it. Before we talk about Kibagami Genjuro's basic moveset and strategies and stuff, how about we cover some of the character inspirations and lore about Genjuro before we try him out. So Kibagami Genjuro was born in the Yamashiro province of Japan, and he's basically a hitokiri, which translates to manslayer. He's a killer for hire, an assassin. He likes gambling, he likes going to brothels, drinking, and having prohibited drugs. He dislikes nice guys, including Haomaru. Kibagami Genjuro did not have a very great childhood. Growing up, he didn't know his father, and this was due to the nature of his mother's profession as a prostitute. Despite all this, Genjuro made a silent vow to stay with his mother until the day his father would return home to them. At 15, Genjuro had to kill a man that was sleeping with his mother one night. This was due to his mother's pleas for protection from the client's drunken rage. When Genjuro decided to leave his home for good, Genjuro's mother had attacked him while cursing his existence and left a scar on his back. In retaliation, Genjuro also killed his mother. Orphaned, without a home or family, Nicotine Caffeine had spotted Genjuro and took him under his tutelage alongside Haomaru. Both students, Haomaru and Genjuro, became close friends, but Genjuro's hunger for power became worrisome for Nicotine. To test his students, Nicotine tempted the both of them to fight over the treasured sword Fugudoku. They were both tested by facing off with a group of other fighters. Genjuro, believing that worthless people don't deserve life, killed his opponents during the competition. He leaves Nicotine's place in disgust after the event. He swore to kill Haomaru and Nicotine, spiteful for their idealistic beliefs on swordplay. He hates Haomaru especially because he resembles the very same man his mother was with when he killed them both. He was also very fond of Shiki, seeing as how Shiki looked very similar to his mother. Genjuro first debuted in Samurai Shodown 2, and he replaced Ukyo Tachibana's role as Haomaru's official canonical rival in the series. Genjuro's adult appeal both in his design and his backstory left a lasting impression for a lot of female players who played Samurai Shodown. In Gameist's 1997 Heroes Collection, he was ranked the staff's 18th favorite character and was the #1 favorite character from both the dev team and fans at the time of his debut in Samurai Shodown 2. Garou Mark of the Wolves and the King of Fighters 14 planner and producer Yasuyuki Oda states that Genjuro and his rival Haomaru are his favorite characters from the Samurai Shodown series. Kibagami Genjuro also shares a striking resemblance to the younger version of Shishio Makoto from the manga and anime series Rurouni Kenshin. This is due to the fact that Shishio Makoto's likeness and character design drew inspiration from Kibagami Genjuro. Creator and author of Rurouni Kenshin, Nobuhiro Watsuki, really liked Samurai Shodown, and you can see it in a lot of his character designs as well. He bought a Neo Geo CD just to play the Samurai Shodown series. In 2003, SNK later hired him to design new characters for Samurai Shodown 5. Shishio is actually one of the main antagonists for Kenshin within the series. During the Meiji Revolution, Shishio actually succeeded Kenshin in being a hitokiri, or an assassin for the Meiji government. However, the Meiji government didn't trust Shishio Makoto, as they saw he had sociopathic tendencies and also knew too much of the Meiji government's secrets. The Meiji government ended up trying to kill Shishio by burning him alive, but Shishio survived. As a result of the hatred that Shishio had for the Meiji government and his new burned body, he decided to create the Juppon Gatana in order to one day overthrow the Meiji government. He also meets Komagata Yumi, a former high-ranking geisha who despised the Meiji government and its new policies on prostitution, with whom he shared a romantic relationship with. He shares ideals of the strongest survive and the weak perishing and dying, similar to Genjuro. So how does Genjuro's hatred and hunger for power play out in Samurai Shodown? What does he play like? What's his strategy? Let's find out. Well, Genjuro can be considered as kind of a jack-of-all-trades character. He has access to most tools, command grabs, projectiles, a dragon punch, hit grabs, and rekkas that can lead into a 50-50 mix-up. As far as normals are concerned with Genjuro, his far-standing light slash and medium slash can poke at the opponent and stop the opponent from approaching him. Genjuro also has his far crouching medium slash, or his 2B, which not only aids well in being a poke, but it also hits low, so it can stop opponents from maybe trying to walk back or backdash Genjuro if he's trying to approach, or if they're trying to approach him and they're not blocking low. Genjuro also has his neutral jumping heavy slash, or his 8C, to air-to-air opponents who try to jump in on him while he's playing the mid-range, and they're a little bit closer, so he's not ready to do his lightning wings special move, which can also be used as an anti-air, performed with 6-2-3 and any slash button. He can also use his 8C in the corner for a great jump in to start some of his combos. Genjuro's universal overhead, performed with medium slash and heavy slash together, B plus C, is not only just an overhead, but it's also a decent poke as well in the neutral, hence why I'm mentioning it here. Genjuro also has a standing kick, or 5D, which sees Genjuro doing a kick attack that hits 3 times. He can cancel the first 2 hits of this kick attack into his special move, Triple Death Hack Fang, performed with 2-3-6 and a slash button. This special move is actually his Rekka move, which we'll talk about a little bit later. He can basically convert his 5D from mid-range or closer ranges into this move and start his offense. With these normals, Genjuro is capable of controlling the mid-range fairly well alongside with some of his special moves. Speaking of special moves, one of Genjuro's most versatile special moves is his Cherry Blossom Slice, commonly referred to as his Hanafuda card, and is performed by doing quarter circle back, or 2-1-4, and a slash attack button. This is Genjuro's projectile, and the distance that this projectile goes depends on what slash button you pressed. So if you press the light slash, it'll go at a set distance closer to Genjuro, and if you press the heavy slash, it'll go further away from Genjuro, almost full screen. However, this projectile dissipates as it travels, meaning that it will disappear after a set distance. The unique thing about Genjuro's Cherry Blossom Slice projectile, however, is that while inputting the move, instead of pressing the slash button, if you hold down the slash button after putting in the input, if the opponent blocks this projectile, it will bounce off of their guard and come raining back down as an overhead projectile, meaning that the opponent has to block this standing up. Now, the distance and how far the projectile bounces off the opponent's guard is relative to what slash button you held down when executing the move. So if you held down the light slash button, it won't go as far, it'll probably be above the opponent's head, whereas if you input the heavy slash version, it'll bounce further away behind the opponent, preventing them from backdashing. So due to the nature and functionality of Genjuro's projectile, this obviously creates a lot of different scenarios in which Genjuro can either continue to play his mid-range or possibly get into close ranges. It also allows for him to set up these unblockable scenarios, which are still very escapable. If Genjuro decides to have the card bounce off the opponent's guard and behind them, then that restricts the opponent from being able to backdash, as I said before. This means that they don't really have the ability to walk back or backdash because the card is raining down, and it allows for Genjuro to work his mid-screen game very well. It allows for his neutral to shine a little bit more because they can't really escape. He kind of creates a small corner behind the opponent to where he's able to force his neutral on them. If Genjuro decides to bounce the card projectile above the opponent instead of behind them, then if the opponent is unaware of the scenario because they don't know of the way of avoiding the card projectile before they have to block it, especially if they've been standing still because Genjuro's been conditioning them in the neutral, then what will happen is Genjuro can actually set up an unblockable situation. As I said before, the card projectile hits high as an overhead, and you cannot block both a high and low on the same frame. This will cause an unblockable to occur, and the opponent will get hit and punished. A common way that Genjuro can capitalize off of the card bouncing off the opponent's guard is he can do forward dashing medium slash or 6-6B. His 6-6B hits twice. The first hit is a low, while a second hit causes a wall bounce, which leads the opponent into a knockdown state. So Genjuro can ultimately be very rewarded if the opponent doesn't know what's going on. How do you avoid the card in the first place? Well, there are 3 ways that are common that you could do to avoid the projectile. The first is, instead of blocking it, you can backdash. Obviously, backdash has a few frames of invincibility, so you don't have to deal with it right away. But Genjuro can also approach you and close you into the corner, allowing him to continue his pressure. Another thing that you could do is you can do A+B, which is your dodge. You can dodge in place and you're invincible for a few frames. But that also has some recovery. And again, Genjuro can use that time to close distance and push you closer to the corner. The last thing that you can do is you can jump over the projectile. However, note that if you jump over the projectile, you could risk yourself getting anti-aired by his Lightning Wings special move. Ultimately speaking, there are varying ways of avoiding his card projectile, but they all have their risk and rewards tied to it, so be careful. Genjuro is able to push his game plan the way he wants to based off of these options, and he's able to manipulate the opponent in that way, making his mid-range game very strong. At closer ranges, when Genjuro is finally able to get in on the opponent, he can use his near standing or near crouching medium slash, his 5B and 2B respectively, to hit confirm into his triple death hack fang, or his Rekka special move, to continue pressure on his opponent as well. This allows for Genjuro to continue his rush down after being rewarded in the neutral. Since we're still talking about special moves with Genjuro, let's cover his triple death hack fang special move. This is also known as a Rekka-ken, or Rekka special move, where you have to do a repeatable input to continue the special move. To perform triple death hack fang, you do 2-3-6, or quarter circle forward, and a slash attack button. Depending on what slash attack button you press, will determine what Genjuro starts with for the Rekka chain. The light slash version sees Genjuro doing a quick slash attack that doesn't go very far. The medium version sees Genjuro doing a forward rushing slash attack that will hit the opponent on the same side, meaning the opponent has to block this in the direction facing away from Genjuro. The heavy slash version looks very identical to the medium slash version, but the only difference is that this version crosses up, meaning that if he does the heavy slash version, you have to block it in the direction facing towards Genjuro. So it's a left-right situation where you have to block either one way or the other way. It is a 50-50. The thing about this special move, however, is that, as I said before, it's a Rekka special move. So he can do it again after the first one. So he could do the first one as a cross-up and then do a second one that's not a cross-up. This second special move is known as triple death hack horn, and it's performed with the same input. If he decides to, he can also go into the last version, which is triple death hack element. This, however, does not have any variations that differ from a slash attack button. This will always go into the same follow-up for this last portion. All 3 of these Rekka moves on block are unsafe, so if you guess right, you can actually punish Genjuro. The other thing too is that the medium and heavy slash versions have a lot of startup to them, meaning that you can actually jump if you predict that Genjuro will be throwing this move out in the neutral, meaning that he cannot just haphazardly throw it out. He has to know when to use it. As I said before, Genjuro can go into his triple death hack fang from his 5D or his near standing 2B or near standing 5B. All 3 of these moves convert into the light version of triple death hack fang. If you attempt to do the medium or heavy slash version, it is a mix-up, meaning that you are trying to make the opponent guess which side they have to block in that scenario. Genjuro also has a slew of other special moves, As I mentioned before, he has his lightning wings, which is performed by doing 623 and a slash attack button. Depending on what slash attack button you press, depends on how far this special move goes, with the light slash being the closest and the heavy slash being the farthest. This move, while enraged, does more hits and does a downward strike in the air that slams the opponent closer to Genjuro. This move is a very great anti-air and also has some invincibility. Genjuro's slash of 100 demons is performed by doing 421 and a slash attack button. Depending on what slash attack button you press, depends on how far forward and how many slashes Genjuro will do. This move is considered a hit grab, meaning that if this lands and the opponent gets hit by it, it'll go into an animation where Genjuro stabs the opponent before kicking them. If the opponent blocks this, then the slash attacks will continue to attack the opponent, causing some chip damage. Finally, to round out the special moves, we have Genjuro's Zen Blade, performed by doing 623 kick attack, or 623 plus D. This is basically Genjuro's command grab. Genjuro's Zen Blade command grab is very good, especially after you've conditioned the opponent to take your card projectile game. Meaning that, let's say the opponent is trying to jump over your card projectile and you've been anti-airing them throughout the match. They're not going to be so prone, due to conditioning, into jumping again. Meaning that you can run up and command grab them instead of throwing out the card. Also, let's say they're trying to dodge your card. You can also run up after they've dodged the card and attempt to command grab them. The other thing too is that, let's say you've blocked an attack from your opponent and they are recoiled back. You can run up and command grab them if you think that they're trying to deflect your attack or parry your attack. So Zen Blade can be used to capitalize situations where the opponent is trying to be extremely defensive. Now let's cover the final two moves for Genjuro, which involves his weapon flipping technique and his super special move. Genjuro can perform his weapon flipping technique 5 flash rip by doing 236 or quarter circle forward B plus C. This move is a close range physical hitting attack. It doesn't go very far at all. You can use this move instead of your Rekkas when trying to hit confirm from your near standing medium slash or near crouching medium slash, for example. So instead of going into Rekka after those normals, you can do this instead. I wouldn't really recommend doing this move raw unless you have a good read on what the opponent is trying to do. I would highly recommend just replacing the Rekkas with this physical hitting attack. Finally, we have Genjuro's super special move, his reverse 5 flash rip, performed by doing 6 4-1-2-3-6 or forward half circle forward C plus D. This super special move is like all other super special moves in that it has some form of invulnerability and it has a ton of startup. It's very slow. So you're probably not going to see yourself doing this move unless you block your opponent's E-Sen or Lightning Blade, or if you have reflected your opponent's C or Heavy Slash normal. So then you can punish them afterwards with this move. Ultimately, it's like all other super special moves. It's going to do a lot of damage once it hits. So overall, that's pretty much it for Genjuro. To sum up what this character is, as I said before, he's a jack of all trades and he has just about every kind of special move. He has very good mid-range and close-range game. His normals are very good at controlling the mid-range in conjunction with his special moves like his card projectile and his DP. He has his Rekkas to put people into a 50-50 left-right. His card projectile is just strong also on offense if the opponent doesn't know what they're doing and they're conditioned. Also, up close, he has ways of continuing pressure, again with his Rekka or with some of his normals to convert into his Rekkas. And he has a command grab, so that way he can capitalize when he's conditioned the opponent, either in close range or in mid range. But the main problem with this character that I didn't discuss too much, but can be easily seen, is that he kind of suffers a lot from much further distances. He's not very good from full screen or further away. He wants to be a little bit closer to the opponent to where he can start playing his game. And if he's too far away, that means that he won't be able to really capitalize off of many things. He can try to start zoning the opponent with his card projectile, but other than that, he won't get his game started until he's actually next to the opponent. Overall, while Genjuro cannot play the long range game for a long period of time very easily, he can play the close range game and play very great rushdown. And because of his tools and being a jack of all trades character, he can also play very solid mid range as well with his great normals and special moves. Overall, I wouldn't recommend Genjuro as a beginner friendly character. He's definitely on the harder side if you're trying to pick up the game early. But if you commit to him, you can definitely do some very strong and powerful things with that character. And that's pretty much it for Kibagami Genjuro in terms of all the moves that I could find so far. If anything changes with the character or with any character that I've covered so far, well, we'll just have to wait when the game comes out, when Samurai Shodown drops June 27th. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, if you enjoyed it and learned something from it, if you like Samurai Shodown or Genjuro, definitely leave that thumbs up down below. Also, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell too so you know the next time I upload another video. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you guys sticking around so far for these tutorial videos. It really means a lot. And yeah, see you guys next video. Peace out.